So let's watch a fucking absolutely terrible video from TYT Investigates. This is a movie review of Joker. This is called Why This Joker is a Real Loser. Loser. He's a loser. All right.
Arthur, does it help to have someone to talk to?
Joker has a problem with black women.
By the way, hey, doesn't TYT have, like, money and shit? Like, why is this guy talking into such a shitty mic? Why does the audio sound so fucking terrible?
The black woman he wants, the black woman who has the nerve to tell a strange man to leave her son alone. And not one, but two black women who appear to be social workers or doctors, but either way, just don't get it.
This is the last time.
I don't remember another. I remember one black woman who's a social worker who just doesn't get it. I don't remember another. Maybe my memory's blanking on it.
We'll be meeting.
You don't listen, do you?
And don't forget the teenagers, definitely not Caucasian, who assault Joaquin Phoenix's character, Arthur Fleck, for no reason. You see,
Never happens in real life, by the way. There's never any senseless violence across racial lines. That's just total contrivance of Joker, the movie. Doesn't happen in the real world at all, and therefore should not be depicted on film.
Arthur is a victim. He's the straight white guy telling women to smile more, or better yet, to laugh at his jokes. You have to wonder whether the movie is satirizing white dude victims all over the country, the incels who can't get anyone to love them. Except that Joker is also the hero of a working class uprising, Occupy Gotham, in clown masks, I guess, and even says explicitly at one point that he's not political. But Joker the movie is very political, and that's what makes it a real mess, literally. In fact, the first thing you...
Is it literally a mess? I don't think it's literally a mess, unless you're talking about, like, the state of the city.
learn is there's a garbage strike in Gotham City.
I guess he is.
The city is literally filthy because sanitation workers have had the nerve to organize to fight for their own self-improvement.
I don't feel like there was like a tremendous amount of like judgment cast the way of the garbage workers in the movie. I think it was just an excuse to make the city filthy and add to the atmosphere of like corruption and shit. I mean, the movie, if anything, seems to take the side of the working class and the people who've been left behind. And but you just dismissed it as like, well, that's white guy problems. Because, you know, if a white person is suffering or is dealing with mental illness or any of that stuff. Oh, by the way, I should probably full screen this fucking thing. If a white person is suffering or dealing with mental illness or something, you can just dismiss it as like, well, that's just white shit. You know, white people don't have no real problems. White people don't have any real mental illness. There's no way that we could fucking possibly look upon the pain of a white person with any sort of empathy because, you know, empathy should be 100% reserved just for like other colors of people, you know. Okay, so you're living in poverty and you suffer from severe mental illness and you were abused as a child and you know, you have delusions of grandeur and these ridiculous fantasies that you escape into to escape your horrible existence. That's all well and good. But what color is your fucking skin? Because I need to know how to feel about you. Because if you're a black guy or an Asian guy or a Latino guy or any of those other guys, then that's horrible what the system's done to you, and I feel so bad for you. But if you're a white guy, fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. You know? I'm sorry, but I just can't empathize with no white dude. You got all the power in the world, Arthur Fleck. You know? I mean, sure, the facts of your life might not be any different than the facts that I would empathize with if it was any other color person, but since you're white, fuck you. Of course. Totally not a racist sentiment at all.
Director Todd Phillips is being praised for making a realistic movie, and even said he wanted to make a real movie disguised as a comic book movie. But any real person inspired to real violence by this real loser is themselves a real loser who can't...
Well, yeah, anyone who watches a movie and is inspired to violence by it is a fucking loser. I mean, yeah, I think we agree on that, but when has that even happened? I know that the media made a big deal about how this movie was going to start all this violence and horribleness, but it didn't. You know what it has inspired is a lot of people protesting in places like Chile. You know, so a bunch of people in Chile saw the plight of this character and decided to, wear his visage during their protest movement. They weren't white. They didn't look at him and say, oh, well, this is a white guy, so we don't empathize with his plight at all. They looked at him and said, here's a fucking character that's been rejected by society and fought back. So maybe we could do the same thing. And they painted themselves up in Joker makeup, and they protested the unfair fucking conditions of their country. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Can't tell that the movie itself doesn't know what the hell Arthur Fleck is, other than the movie's supreme confidence that he, this poor white male victim, has something important to say about modern times. And by the way, we literally see the real movie.
I don't know that Arthur Fleck is the one who has something important to say about times. I think he's the subject of the movie. I don't think that it's like watching Taxi Driver, you know? You're not supposed to watch it and be like, oh, Travis Bickle's got the answers. You know, he's the subject. It's like, hey, look at what the conditions of society made this person into, right? It's not like you're supposed to be like, oh, they're righteous and good. The movie, the Joker has never been presented as a fucking hero. He's always been presented as a villain. This movie's no exception to that. Just because we see things from his perspective doesn't mean like he's the hero of the film. And the movie is like, if you believe that, then the literal message of the movie is you should dress up in clown makeup and go kill people, because why the fuck not, you know? Society's bad, so time to put on the grease paint and fucking off some motherfuckers. Like, what?
Modern times in one scene. That's how on the red nose this movie is. There's a very
That sounds like your fucking basic bitch interpretation of the movie, honestly. Don't take your simple-minded take and say that's what the movie is. No, that's your simple-minded fucking pea-brain take is what that is. That's all that is.
simple cure for whatever made-up mental and emotional problems Arthur Fleck has. And it's caring.
Made up? What? Wait. The mental illnesses he suffers from in the movie are just made up shit? Well, I mean, in the sense that he's a made up character, sure. But he was never shown to have any problems that don't exist in real life. Are there people who really have, like, the delusions of grandeur that Arthur Fleck has? Yes. Are there people who feel the extreme isolation that he feels? Yes. Are there people who are unable to fucking adjust emotionally to the world around them and process things in a healthy manner? Of course there are. So what are you talking about?
Caring about other people in some way other than wanting their laughter, adoration, or other narcissistic gratification. And it's not just Joker who's angry all these black people won't laugh at his unfunny comedy.
There was no... What are you talking about? There was no racial component to this. Like, why are you just bypassing all of the white people that he had a problem with? In fact, I don't think he kills a single person of color in this movie. He kills some fucking rich Wall Street cocksuckers in the train. Sorry, spoilers, by the way. He kills some rich Wall Street cocksuckers in a train who I remember all being white. He kills a dude from his work that was a prick to him who was white. He kills the talk show host who was white. His actions indirectly lead to the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne, who are white. So it seems like, I don't remember there being this angle that you read into the film of like, he hates black people. That's what the Joker's about. He just was tired of all these damn blacks. So that's why he put on the face paint and was like, it's time for me to go kill some blackies now. It's not the movie. You and I saw a different fucking film, sir.
Director Phillips said he made Joker because he can't make hilarious comedies like The Hangover anymore because woke culture doesn't like it when he punches down. So
I don't remember The Hangover being like much of a punch down movie. I mean, I don't even remember it being an overtly kind of political movie. I remember it being like, it was like three guys who went on a crazy Vegas bender and then were trying to put the pieces back together the next day and find their friend. And they got in all kinds, they pieced back together the strange misadventure they'd had the night before. I don't remember it being, I don't remember, like, who did it punch down at? I don't know. I don't remember the film perfectly. I don't have perfect recall. I don't think I've seen it since it came out. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't really remember it being a super, like, oh, this movie's about fucking fuck them gays or whatever, you know? I don't remember that.
Instead of punching up for once, he decided to make a quote-unquote real movie disguised as a comic book movie, but actually realistic, like capital A art. But here's the problem with Joker's realism. Real white dudes don't have Arthur's BS reasons to resent black women. Going off your meds doesn't really make you suddenly capable of carrying out complicated plans, committing murder, and literally getting away with murder.
I mean, sometimes it does. And by the way, how'd he get away with it? The movie ends with him in fucking jail or Arkham or something. So I don't see how he didn't get away with it. I mean, but this is the Joker we're talking about. I mean, like, you realize this is the origin story of a villain, right? Like, you're not supposed to be like, wow, what a great guy. It's supposed to be like, hey, let's take a dark and unflinching look at the origin story of one of the most notorious villains in all of fucking comic books and literature and media. I mean, I don't fucking understand. This interpretation is just so weird. Like, I don't know how you got this from this movie at all. Like, it's not about race shit.
Mentally ill people don't really do this more than other people do. And in fact,
come on. Come on. I mean, there's certain forms of mental illness. Like, if there's a fucking guy who fucking dresses up in clown makeup and starts murdering people, I think it's pretty safe to say that person is probably not the portrait of fucking sanity, dude. And by the way, this is the Joker we're talking about. A character who is notoriously insane. That's the defining characteristic of the fucking Joker, is that he's crazy. Come on.
No one does this. In 3 decades of urban decay in America, at no point did a lone killer inspire a movement of widespread working-class violent uprising.
Yeah, it's a movie. I mean, like, what? Yeah, it didn't really happen. Oh, the Joker's not a true story. What? You telling me the Joker's not real? Huh? I thought this was based on actual historical events that happened.
Real grown-ups don't really get physically assaulted without provocation at the rate Arthur Fleck does, suffering 2 terrible traumatic beatings in the space of only a few days.
Yeah, that's supposed to show the fucking decay of the city. And yeah, I think if you went to a high crime city and you were a little weak-looking dude who was dressed in clown makeup, I'm willing to bet that you're probably going to get your ass kicked here and there. Because when you're talking about a place where, like, social cohesion and the social order have completely broken down and there's no faith in the fucking system at all anymore, then yeah, the weak are going to be preyed upon. That's kind of like the essence of what criminality is, right?
Real teenagers generally don't randomly attack grown white men on busy streets in broad daylight. Real people may suffer some of the tragedies that befall Arthur Fleck, but not all of them. This is
right. It's supposed to be about the confluence of forces that turn this fucking meek individual into the Joker. It's like, what was the movie supposed to do? How could the origin story of the Joker possibly satisfy you? Like, what could this movie possibly have done to meet with your approval? Like, he's just supposed to go outside, you know, he goes out into the streets and no one fucks with him. And he rides the subway train without incident. And he looks into his past and he finds that it's totally normal and legit. And then he puts on some face paint and kills a bunch of people because he's just crazy. Like, what? Yeah, you have to show bad things happening to him to prompt him into becoming the fucking Joker. Right?
not the real world, and it's not realistic. In fact, the relentlessly dark, hopeless, filthy, uncaring world in which Joker is justified for leading this politically scrambled, incoherent movement is only real in bad comic books.
Ugh. Hey, there's this thing called social commentary, and occasionally it uses elements like hyperbole, which is when you exaggerate certain things in order to make a point, right? So, yeah, this is a comic book movie. It is based on comic books. I don't know why you feel the need to look down your fucking nose at an entire fucking medium of human expression, but yeah, it's based on a comic book. I don't think it should flinch away from that or be like insulted by you saying this is like something out of a comic book. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, it's based on a fucking comic book. It's a comic book villain. His name is the Joker. You know? I don't know if you've heard of him. He was famously portrayed by Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger and Cesar Romero, and infamously portrayed by Jared Leto. And he originally was a villain in a comic book you might have heard of called Batman. So that's what that movie's about. I don't know, man. That's just fucking 7 flavors of dumb. I don't know what to even fucking say beyond that. If you like what you just saw, subscribe to my channel. It is law. Also, check out my podcast, or Satan will rise and rape your ass. Also, my mom's dog is sick, so contribute to her GoFundMe, you stupid prick. That's all.